we go. We're going live. Going live. What's up? What's up? What's up, party people? I'm gonna let you guys tune in. We still got people come through. All right, I gotta do a few housekeeping things right now, but let's go ahead and get to some juicy stuff before I get into my video today. I got a treat for you guys today. I'm actually going live with my wife today as well, so you see me and her tag team a video after this video. So stay tuned for 2 videos for you guys. Normally when I go live, I always hit you guys with 2 videos. So whenever I go live, I try to. So a lot of times I don't get to. Going live now. So YouTube page. So you want to see me share my screen? Go to my YouTube page. Uplift past Crossroads. Again, that's Uplift past like future Crossroads. All right. I'm also sharing my screen on my Facebook page, Sean Christopher Jenkins, and on my LinkedIn page, Sean Christopher Jenkins. Well, Sean is spelled S-E-A-N. So if you want to see me share my screen, go ahead and go to those pages. And I'm also sharing my screen on my Twitter page, which is my baby, my ex, Trouble Don't Last. Right. So that's what pages I'm streaming from right now. But then, like you guys can see on the screen, let me share my screen. Yeah, I'm sharing my screen right now. Those are my other social media platforms. On my Snapchat, Instagram, TikTok, and Threads is Trouble Don't Last. So I'm streaming on my Trouble Don't Last Instagram page right now as well. I'm also streaming on my other Instagram page, my_daily_Bible. My Tumblr page is Trouble Don't Last #1. Right, so those are my social media pages. All right, and so I got a fun fact for you guys real quick, just so you guys get to know me better. So I was reflecting right before this video on just my life, right? And just my upbringing and how, my upbringing was from my siblings. So I think my older brother, he went to the same schools as me for the most part, but I know when I went to preschool, I went to Lighthouse Christian School. So I went to a Christian school. Like I didn't even think about that. Like I think about it every once in a while, but like just that foundation. So like in preschool when I was younger, I still remember that day. Like they were teaching us about heaven and hell, and they had a picture of hell up on the board, whatever you want to call it. You know how kid classrooms are, just very vibrant. Got a lot of posters and stuff all along the walls, and yeah, I still remember vividly the hell, like fire and people burning in it, and I don't want to go there. And this was when I was 4 years old, right? So I used to go to this thing called Bible camp. So it was during the summer, and they used to have it for kids, but now the government in Tennessee, at least, I live in the United States, just kidding, country, but the government in the Tennessee basically banned it from them being able to do it. It was basically a daycare for kids. So a church would house, all these kids that, their parents wanted them to get out the house for the summer and be around other kids and babysit or whatever. I don't know the reasons, parents. But I went to this daycare, and it was a Bible camp, right, at a church. And so one of the songs that we used to sing all the time, I think it was there. Whatever day it was during the week, we would sing, like today's Friday. We would say, "It's Friday day, what a blessed day. It's Friday day, what a blessed day. It's Friday day, what a blessed day, what a blessed day." And then if it was Saturday, it's Saturday day, what a blessed day. It's Saturday day, what a blessed day. It's Saturday. Bless. I think we did the whole week until we got to our actual day that the day that it was. But yeah, I remember that like it was yesterday, man. I always think about that in my head. So before I did the video, share that with you guys so you guys know that song as well and have it run it through your head. But yeah, but anytime we got to the actual day, it was I think it was more hyper. So like everybody was more hyped. So like when we got to Friday, like Today's Friday. We used to have like a beat, like, because you know, black people got rhythm and we know how to make music, like make music and make it like special and meaningful. So like, yeah, we used to add like a beat to it and be more hype on like whatever day of the week it actually was when we got to that part of the song. So yeah, I'll throw that fun fact to you guys. I may use that for story time on a future video on my YouTube channel, Uplift past Crossroads. That's one of the playlists I have on my YouTube channel. But yeah, man, let's go ahead and get to the video. I was kind of calling so I can share all my all share this video throughout all my forms, sharing and retweeting and liking it, so all my pages can see. But now I'm done. All right. So like I said, I got a treat for you guys today. So today's title for today's video is God's going to take out the trash, right? So if you go to my YouTube channel, Uplift past Crossroads, which is also, that's also my podcast name, right? So wherever you get your podcast from, you can go look for my YouTube channel on any podcast platform, and I'm on there as well. So my podcast is Uplift past Crossroads, right? And so yeah, with this YouTube and podcast, I do a lot of videos. So this is my 496 videos. So I got way more videos for you guys because I know you're gonna like this video. So make sure to share, like, comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Turn on the post notification after you subscribe so you're notified anytime I upload another video. But this video is about to be dope, man. Just get ready for it, right? Because one of my favorite playlists on my YouTube channel is this one. So anytime I do a YouTube video, I make sure to give you guys more of what you want and what you enjoy. So I make playlists, you know, on like whatever subject you're looking for, whatever topic I talked about, so you can get more of that topic, more of that chapter in the Bible, more of that character in the Bible. So one of my favorite playlists on my YouTube channel is life verses, right? So what is a life verse? So this is a plus on my YouTube channel, Uplift past Crossroads. So a life verse is just a verse that means a lot to you. It's a verse that touches you. Like as soon as you read it and you study it and you meditate on it, even when you first stumbled upon it, like it could have hit you and like it stuck out to you more than any other verse that you read in that chapter. It's what is a life verse? A life verse is a verse in the Bible, or it could be a passage in the Bible. It could be a whole chapter in the Bible that literally God gave you a revelation about. God spoke to you about, and you know this chapter of the Bible, you know this verse in the Bible better than any other verse, any other chapter in the Bible. You know, this is what a life verses are. So a life verse is something that you apply to your life, and it's not just something you know, right? You know it like you know your name. So like it's something that you actually do, you actually live. Like it's your relationship with God. Like a life verse is a lot of things, man. So if like I just told you what a life verse is, right? What's your life verse, right? So one of my life verses, this is what I'm gonna hit you guys with, is actually Zephaniah chapter 1 verse 12. Zephaniah chapter 1 verse 12. So I stumbled upon this scripture verse, this life verse, when I was doing this Sunday school lesson. So when COVID first hit, my church still did Sunday school, and I was the one over it. Well, I wasn't over it, but I was the one doing the videos, just because I was the only technical sound person doing it and stuff like that, because everybody was a bit older in that congregation. But yeah, when we were doing Sunday school lessons, man, and I hit them with this video, it was a Sunday school lesson on Zephaniah chapter 3, verse 14 to 20. So I put that in the description of the video if you're interested in watching that Sunday school lesson. So basically, I'm gonna cover the same stuff that I tackled with that Sunday school lesson. And so let's go ahead and read Zephaniah chapter 1, verse 12. So Zephaniah chapter 1, verse 12. Let me pull it up here. All right, I'm gonna read a few different versions. Yeah, I want you guys to see it on the screen. I want you guys to see it. Yeah, I want to make it look better. So let me put a few Bible verses in the chat so I can just pull it up on the screen more beautiful instead of like this the whole video. I want you guys to be able to see me. All right. Yeah, let's go ahead. We'll read a few versions and see which ones we want. So Zephaniah chapter 1, verse 12. Let's get to it. All right. So again, I titled the videos, guys take out the trash. This is about to bless you guys. So like this is gonna bless you if you've really been struggling with just people in general. Like I understand, like this world it can be an awful place, and it is for some people. Like some people's reality is awful. Like, and then what makes matters worse is just the people you interact with and you're around. Like they can make it even more of a hell for you, right? So people can suck and people can be awful, right? And so some people got to deal with more awful and heinous people than other people, right? So um, yeah, I thank God I don't have to deal with that many, honestly. Honestly, I'm really protected. I've always been protected and shielded, but some people aren't. And so this chapter in the Bible is for you. Like if you want vengeance, if you want to get back, if you want to get back and pay back, like if you're seeking revenge on other people, like this video is for you. Like this is a message that God got for you. So this is one of the reasons why this is my life verse. Because basically, you don't gotta worry about all the trash in this world, because God's gonna take it out soon. Because the trash gotta go out, right? So all right, so Zephaniah chapter 1, verse 12, it reads this. So from the New International Version, at that time I will search Jerusalem with lamps and punish those who are complacent, who are like wine left on its dregs, who think the Lord will do nothing, either good or bad. All right, so the New Living Translation reads, Zephaniah chapter 1, verse 12, I will search with lanterns in Jerusalem's darkest corners to punish those who sit complacent in their sin. They think the Lord will do nothing, either good or bad. Let's read another version. English Standard Version reads, at that time I will search Jerusalem with lamps, and I will punish the men who are complacent, those who say in their hearts, the Lord will do who the Lord will not do good, nor will he do ill. Mm. All right, so yeah, that's pretty good. Let's stop there. All right, because the version I really wanted, and I think I had for that Sunday school lesson, was the New Living Translation. It was that one. This is the one I like the most. So I will search with lanterns. Lanterns, guys. God will search with lanterns in Jerusalem's darkest corners to punish those who sit complacent in their sins. They think the Lord would do nothing to them, either good or bad. Mm-mm-mm. All right, so with this chapter in the Bible, so I'm gonna do Sunday school lessons. Well, not Sunday school lessons. I'm gonna do Bible studies on my YouTube channel and on my social media platforms, going verse by verse, talking about the book of Zephaniah. Right? I like doing verse by verse Bible studies. You learn way more about the Bible doing verse by verse, chapter by chapter. So that's gonna be coming your way soon. I'm just in seminary school. I work third shift Monday to Friday. So I just got a lot on my plate, man. I'm in seminary school. I'm in board examiners, trying to get my ordination through the African Methodist Episcopal Church. And my son's about to be born. So I just got a lot of stuff going on. But like one day I'll be going live every day, at least one video a day. But my goal is to do 2 videos a day. But yeah, so you'll get way more from the book of Zephaniah throughout my YouTube channel. But like this is a good starting place. So like all you need to know is the book of Zephaniah in the Bible is set in the city of Jerusalem during the final decades of the kingdom of Judah before the Babylonian exile in 587 to 586 BCE. All right, so this is the final decades of the southern kingdom. That's what you got to get. So the southern kingdom of Israel, let me show you guys a picture. Like, just see, this will be all Bible studies and sermons. You'll get this from my YouTube channel if you want more on it. So it'll be videos on like the minor prophets and the videos on Zephaniah, Zechariah, Hezekiah, all these different prophets. So there's all you need to know is back in Israelites time period in the Old Testament during the minor prophet days, the kingdoms were split. So there was a southern kingdom and a northern kingdom of Israel, right? Because Israel, they just had different beliefs and people were bickering, so there's divisions and stuff. So all you need to know is they split it, and I think in the northern kingdom there was 10 of the tribes of Jacob of Israel, and then there's just 2 of the tribes of Judah right here. So well, 2 of the tribes of Israel, so Jacob. So his sons, basically all their descendants, split it into these different parts of the world, right? In Israel. So you have the kingdom of Israel and the kingdom of Judah. 10 tribes are right here, and 2 tribes are right here, right? And so then when it came to the king of Judah, I know you guys can't see this in the kings of Israel. The reason why the northern kingdom fell before the southern kingdom, right? So I told you guys the southern kingdom fell in 586 to 587 BC. Well, the northern kingdom fell way before that, like 150 years before, I think. It was in 722 BC or 721 BC. The northern kingdom of Israel, which was known as Samaria, fell to the Neo-Assyrian Empire, right? So the Assyrian army captured the capital city of Samaria and took the 10 tribes of Israel captive, who were then scattered across Assyria. Some of the captives escaped and went north and are known as the lost 10 tribes, right? And so in Zephaniah's time period, Zephaniah was alive. Zephaniah. So the book's first verse introduces Zephaniah as a prophet. So that's what he is, who spoke during the reign of King Josiah, right? And King Josiah's reign lasted from 639 BC to 608 BC. So what you need to get from that is, so the reason why the northern kingdom fell before the southern kingdom is, it's all based on leadership. It all starts in the pulpit, right? So the reason why the world goes to crap is because of leadership, right? Like, guys, like, the presidential debate just happened, and then we're about to vote for the president. But we focus on the president like that's the end all be all. Like, they define everything, right? And we don't focus on like the actual local offices and just politics in general, right? Like, we got people making rules, making policies, making regulations, doing things, but they don't do it for the benefit and the betterment of everybody, right? They only do it to, basically serve those who pay their checks, right? So politicians are paid, right? They get paid to serve, right? They all make at least $400,000 or more, right? Well, the president does. I don't know how much just regular local office people make, but all you need to know is, guys, like, when it comes to the president, they're all bought, right? So whoever pays their bills, whoever helped fund their campaigns and stuff like that, like the people who pay for the politicians campaigns and stuff, they get to make the laws and tell those politicians what they want, and the politicians got to bend to their will because they were bought, right? And so it's the same thing in Zephaniah's day. Like, they had prophets that were bought. Like, they had in Zephaniah's day, like in the southern kingdom, they didn't fall like the northern kingdom for a reason. Like, it took time for them to fall for a reason because their leadership was pretty good, right? They actually had leaders that loved the Lord and did what was right in God's eye. Like, the kingdom of Judah, the southern kingdom, they had King Azar, King Jehoshaphat, they had King Uzziah or Isaiah, King Jethro, King Hezekiah, King Josiah. So these are all good kings. So they had, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 good kings out of like probably 20. But the northern kingdom, they probably had like 18 kings, 16 kings, something like that. And they were all bad. Every last one of them, right? So that's why the northern kingdom fell before the southern kingdom, right? So the whole setting of the book of Zephaniah is just that. Like, the book's theme is the day of the Lord, and it focuses on the judgment and restoration. So Zephaniah announced that God would remove evil from among his people and open a new future for all humanity, right? And so I want to read. Let's just read Zephaniah 1 just to see what we're getting ourselves into and see if we see anything. But like, because I want to see where this leads to with verse 12. All right, so I'm gonna read from the New International Version. Let's see how good this gets. All right, so the word. Let me share my screen so you guys see the verse. All right, so Zephaniah chapter 1, verse 1 through 12. Let's see what we get ourselves into. For the New International Version Bible, the word of the Lord came to Zephaniah, son of Cushi, the son of Gedaliah, the son of Amariah, the son of Hezekiah, during the reign of Josiah, son of Amon, king of Judah. Judgment on the whole earth in the day of the Lord. I will sweep away everything from the face of the earth, declares the Lord. I will sweep away both man and beast. I will sweep away the birds in the sky and the fish in the sea and the idols that cause the wicked to stumble. When I destroy all mankind on the face of the earth, declares the Lord, I will stretch out my hand against Judah and against all who live in Jerusalem. I will destroy every remnant of Baal worship in this place, the very names of idolatrous priests, those who bow down on the roofs to worship the starry host, those who bow down and swear by the Lord, and who also swear by Molech, those who turn back from following the Lord and neither seek the Lord nor inquire of him, be silent before the sovereign Lord. For the day of the Lord is near. The Lord has prepared a sacrifice. He has consecrated those who he has invited. On the day of the Lord's sacrifice, I will punish the officials and the king's sons and all those glad in foreign clothes. On that day, I will punish all who avoid stepping on the threshold, who fill the temple of their gods with violence and deceit. On that day, declares the Lord, a cry will go up from the fish gate, wailing from the new quarter, and a loud crash from the hills. Well, you who live in market district, all the merchants will wipe out. All who trade with silver will be destroyed. And then this is our key verse for today's video. At that time, I will search Jerusalem with lamps and punish those who are complacent, who are like wine left on dregs, who think the Lord will do nothing, either good or bad. All right, so let's get to it. All right, so I know you guys are probably asking, what are dregs? All right, and this is what the whole video will boil down to. Focus in on that. All right, so a dreg. So I had to look up what this meant because I honestly didn't know what it meant before this video. So if you guys know what a dreg is, it's also called, I think it's a lees, right? So a dreg is the solid pieces of sediments that sink to the bottom of a coffee whenever you're drinking coffee, wine, or tea. So tea leaves instead of using tea bags, right? So that's what a dreg is, or lees, the solid pieces that sink to the bottom of your cup. And you usually don't drink it. It doesn't even taste good if you drink it, right? So it's the worst part of the cup. So you reach for a cup of coffee and you realize you're about to drink it, but all that's left is the dregs of the coffee or the wine or the tea. Nobody drinks that really. And you try to drink it and you don't like the taste of it when you do. See, God's speaking through creation. So that's another one of my playlists on my YouTube channel. Like in this world, like metaphorically speaking, dregs are focusing on this part of society, the worst of the worst, the bad quality of society, the very bottom of society, the worst members of society, people who always commit violent crimes, as an example, or the most undesirable parts in a society. So the least desirable portions of society, the worst members of society, worthless people that you don't want, right? The scum of society, the worst and the lowest part of something. That's what a dreg is, right? The dregs of society. And you got God here, before I even break it down some more, you got God here in Zephaniah chapter 1, verse 12, right? And he's really talking about all that with what I just read in Zephaniah chapter 1, just that first portion, 1 through 12. At that time I will search Jerusalem with lamps and punish all those who are complacent, who are like wine left on its dregs, who think the Lord would do nothing, either good or bad. Like, I'm gonna use an example when it comes to dregs too. He drank the dregs to the very last dreg, right? So when you drink a drink to the very last dreg, right? So when you drink wine to the very last dreg, that last part really don't taste as good, or any drink, right? When you got dregs in it, the sediments, solid pieces that sink to the bottom of the cup. So scraping the barrel, using the very last bit of something, because there's nothing else to use. That's what a dreg is. So normally if you have a little bit of liquid left, you're going to be drinking the dregs of that drink, right? So I titled today's video, God's going to take out the trash. So yeah, when it came to this part, Zephaniah, this prophet, is warning the southern Israel, trying to get them on one accord with God. He's giving them, the people in Jerusalem, a prophecy, telling them, we're going to face the same fate as Israel, as the northern part of Israel. All of the northern kingdom, southern kingdom, the people of God. We're going to face the same judgment they face if we keep on living in sin, if we keep on forsaking God, if we keep on doing what immoral people do and the people around us, and just doing stuff contrary to God, right? So this verse, the reason why it's my life verse, is because Zephaniah is saying that he's going to use a lamp I mean, Zephaniah is saying that God's going to go through every corner, every part of society, every place you can go to, right? Even in the alleys, in the darkest corners of the world. And he's going to flash his lantern there, flash his light there. He's going to illuminate it. And everything that's dark has to go, right? That's when I first read that verse, that's how I see it, right? So when I was doing my Sunday school lesson and I just happened to stumble upon Zephaniah 1:12, that's the first part that got me. At that time, I would search Jerusalem with lamps and punish those who are complacent. So how many people are complacent in this world? Like, honestly, guys, I could never get complacent and comfortable here just because there's so much evil. There's so much heinous acts going on. There's just so much awful people, right? It's just so much. This world's crap, man. Honestly, like I can't wait for heaven, right? A place where it's just light, no darkness. A place where there's hope and no hopelessness. Like I I can't wait to be in a place where God is literally present and there with us in our midst. Like with this is the reason why this is my life verse. So I told you guys at the very beginning of this video, what is a life verse? A life verse is a verse that touches you, a verse that when you read it, it speaks to you. But not only that, like it stays with you. You think about it all the time. Like ever since I Sunday school lesson, I did this Sunday school lesson 4 years ago in 2020, right? Like I told you guys, I did this lesson during COVID, right? It was a Sunday school lesson on Zephaniah chapter 3, verse 14 to 20. And it was titled Prophesying Restoration, a Vision of Restoration, right? On my YouTube channel, Uplift past Crossroads. And like that video is so long, like it was an hour and almost 30 minutes, man. Like, but that video has always stuck with me. It's always been inside me, only because of this scripture verse, right? And so with this scripture verse, like the first thing that sticks out to me is just God's gonna make everything right. Like play around politicians. Like if push came to shove, like every problem in this world like solve an issue. They really could. Like you guys know how we're in $1 trillion in debt. Like I think $35 trillion in debt in America. So that's why like inflation high, cost of living high. Like money's just crazy right now. That's just money. You know, and they only get punished. But you know, just so many bad apples, so much bad in this world. Bad, nothing bad going on in this world. Everything's perfect. Like that's a problem. It's just going bad, but it's a lot of things going bad. A lot of stuff going on. It's just problems. And we have God here who's promised. We got Zechariah, something that God told him, and how God said He's going to make everything right. Basically, He's going to turn everything, take out the trash. Right? I told you guys what a drag is. Right? What is a drag? It's the worst parts of society. It's the parts that, you know, don't taste good. It's the parts that are unbecoming. Like, it's the worst of the worst, the bad quality. And normally, if you have a little bit of liquid left, like just a little bit of hope left in this life, just a little bit of life left in this house, and just a little bit of life left to live, you know, just a little bit of your day, right? If you got to deal with a drag, you got to deal with, you know, just the worst of the worst in this world. Like it just makes this world taste even worse, and that's what we have to deal with. Like it's ridiculous, right? So yeah, like the reason why this verse means a lot to me, I did a study, it was a Sunday school lesson, and then I actually was just on my YouTube channel on Revelations chapter 21 and 22. So these are the last 2 chapters in the Bible, and with these last the Bible is talking about in like a movie trailer. And so movie trailer, like we only get so much about what still so many questions. So what happens, right? We get crazy. Like, I'll be there, like just reading it. So I'm gonna read some of just like the highlights of it. Where I got highlights. So Revelations, and this is also a playlist on my YouTube channel. If you type in Revelations 21 and 22, you see those playlists on my YouTube channel, Uplift past Crossroads right here. All right, so yeah, let's get to it. So Revelation 21. I'm gonna go ahead and read the first 4 verses. It says, this is the it's assumed that Apostle John wrote Revelations, and so an angel just took him around, basically just showed him what heaven is like. So it was a vision that he received from an angel about what to expect with the new heaven and new earth. That's what this called. So the new Jerusalem. So the old Jerusalem, just like with this life verse that I gave you guys, like the old Jerusalem, there's a lot of hopelessness. There was a lot of doom and gloom. There's a lot of darkness. There's a lot of evil going on. So Zephaniah, like, he was prophesying to people who weren't living to the standard of God. They weren't doing stuff according to God's word. As a matter of fact, like the people who were in leadership, the priests, the pastors, like they were taking advantage of the poor. They weren't seeking justice. They weren't doing stuff with mercy and with love. Like they were just seeking their own gains, pleasuring themselves. Like they weren't doing stuff how God made them to do things, right? And everybody had to pay the price. Eventually, the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom were both, under Persian captivity. So the Babylonians took out the northern kingdom, but eventually the Persians took out the Assyrians, who took the northern kingdom, and then they took out the southern kingdom, and then they took the whole world, the Persians, right? So because they were after the Israelites, right? And so that was the penalty of being in sin. Like Paul even said it, like God's gonna lead you to your own devices and let your vices take you out. The stuff that you keep on playing around with, keep on entertaining your sin that you love more than God. God's gonna leave you, let those things overtake you. You keep on playing with them, right? So yeah, so Revelation chapter 21, verses 1 through 4. Then I saw a new earth, for the first heaven and the first earth had passed away, and there was no longer any sea. I saw the holy city, the new Jerusalem, coming down out of heaven from God, prepared as a bride beautifully dressed for her husband. And I heard a loud voice from the throne saying, "Look, God's dwelling place is now among the people. He will dwell with them. They will be his people, and God himself will be with them and be their God. I will wipe every tear from my eye. There will be no more death or mourning or crying or pain, for the old order of things has been passed away." And so this is what we get here, all right? So I'm not going to read the rest of it. I'll just summarize it. So when God dwells with us, when God dwells with us, there will be no pain. Every tear will be wiped away. There'll be no need for tears. No more tears, right? Because there'll be no death, no mourning, no crying, no pain. Because that's the old order of doing things. So with the new heaven and new earth, the new Jerusalem, like the last 2 chapters of the Bible, this is what God is promising to us when we follow him. He's promising to us hope. He's promising to us life, and life more abundantly, the best of life, right? He's promising to us something that this world can't give us right now, right? Because we got so many drag members, just like with the drink, dregs, like this verse said in Zephaniah chapter 1, my life verse for today, right? The video. At that time I will search Jerusalem with lamps and punish those who are complacent, who are like wine left on dregs. So one day God's gonna take all the dregs out of society, all the unbecoming parts, all the awful people in this world, all the bad people, all the evildoers, all the adulterers, all the unbelieving. Like somebody asked me the other day on one of my videos this question. Let me share my screen so you guys can see it. They asked me, what are thoughts on who's going to hell? Well, this is one of my thoughts on who's going to hell. Like these are the people who go to hell, right? Is this verse right here with Revelation chapter 21. Like, who's going to make it to heaven? It ain't these people. Those who are victorious will inherit all of this, and I will be their God, and they will be my children. But the cowardly, the unbelieving, the vile, the murderers, the sexually immoral, those who practice magic arts, the adulterers, and all liars, they will be co-signed to the fiery lake of burning sulfur. This is the second death, right? So there's coming a day where all the people who make life hard for everybody else, where all the people who seek vengeance on everybody else, an eye for eye, the unbelieving, the people who mock and scorn God's word, the sexually immoral, man, those who, I would even say the IG models, like who cause men to stumble, right? Because they like attention so much that they just want to flaunt their bodies out to the world for everybody to see. just so they can get, get themselves off, right? By getting every other man off, right? So the sexually immoral, man, those who practice magical arts, man, like people who are manipulative and say, like, this is how you get rich, and it's not how you get rich. Their money and take advantage of you so they can get rich, right? So cheaters, right? People who okay, I'm going in. So manipulators, adulterers, right? These type of people, they won't make it into heaven, right? So just like with this life verse, like everybody's this life verse, this verse in the Bible means so much to me because like everybody's looking for justice. Everybody's looking for God to make things right. Like everybody wants a lot of people like they want everybody to get their due. Like when it comes to their like they want people who hurt them to face punishment for their crimes. And like this verse gives me hope of that. Like, God's going his lantern. First of all, God is the light. He is the lantern. Right? That's what we get from Revelation. I'm not going to read it, but basically at the end of Revelations 21:22, it says that, God, there will be no need for a temple, no need for church. Why? Because God is the church. He is the temple. Right? In this new earth, in this new Jerusalem, like literally, it's supposedly said that I don't remember, but all you need to know, like the old Jerusalem, the new Jerusalem will be in the same place as the old Jerusalem in this earth. Like God's going to get rid of this earth completely, destroy it, and then make a whole new earth, right? And a whole new Jerusalem, like a whole new. That's all you need. A whole new creation, right? And it's going to be filled with all believers, people who trusted and had faith in Him, all people who were martyred just because they trusted God more than they trusted His right. This war, like instead of having a temple and a church to go to, they'll be with God because God is present in the midst of them. God and the Lamb. It said the God Almighty and the Lamb will be the temple. Then it says in the city, the New Jerusalem, new heaven, new earth. In the last few chapters of the Bible, for the rest of eternity, it's called the eternal state, right? The eternal kingdom, right? It's for eternity. This is the life you're supposed to be expecting and looking forward to. So he doesn't know sun or moon because light in the darkness, right? There's no daytime. All right, why? Because God will. They are in this new heaven and new earth, right? It says that will never be shut, right? Because it's all be always be there. And He's shut because it's fully connected. Because God is Jesus. See, that's the let me make sure I say it right. When the king not around, it's something like that. Let's see if Google. I hope it does. But basically, God, so much why sin is running rampant, while people get away with murder. Even when people cheat and abuse, like take advantage of people, like there's a lot of people that do that, and they're the power, right, to get away with it. And get away with it, like Puff Daddy, for example, like they did it. He saw the video camera stuff. Like apparently he's just that, right? Yeah, maybe because all the money he got and the power he got. Get away with it. And we don't, and being especially as believers, like we just struggle with that. We walk down the what happened? It's not in your time, and their justice, they're going to face God. So 10 times they deserve. So there's no point in even saying like I want them to, like I think Donald should face a justice. Let's just start Joe Biden or like people like evil for you to right. I want to do this. The cats and they're talking about sayings like that older sense. But what that's saying is saying that people be not present. Well, in this world, that's what it's like. Like in this world, God's not present. It actually, I need to turn the internet. You hear me? All right. He's on. He's live on. All right, yeah, I had to say that to my wife. All right, so yeah, but when it casts away, the mouse come out and play. So yeah, so the cat, who's authority? God. When God's an authority, and He's not present in this world, everybody think they can get away with evil. Everybody think they can get over on other people, and they don't have to answer to God. Everybody thinks like what they do in private won't be seen and they won't be held accountable for. And even believers think that sometimes. So, like for example, what sin do you do all the time in private? You know that's wrong, and you need to repent from, but you keep on doing it anyways, just because I think that sometimes too. You probably think you do so much for God that you could just do this one thing. It's a little sin. It's not too much, so you just do it anyways, right? You think that the Lord will do nothing, whether you do good or bad, whether you serve Him or not. Like you just think that God, it's whatever. Right? That's Zephaniah 1:12, man. Like, there's gonna come a time where everybody has to answer. There's gonna come a time where everybody's gonna get judged, and I mean for every act, every thought, word, and deed. Like, So, in saying that, God's gonna come with His lamp to the darkest corners of the earth. Like this with this version of the Bible, Zephaniah 1:12, the New Living Translation. I will search with lanterns in Jerusalem, the darkest corners, to punish those who sit complacent in their sin. Like, are you complacent in your sin? Are you complacent with where you're at? That's what Zephaniah is saying to the people in his day. Like, judgment is coming. God is coming with His wrath on us if we don't repent from our sins, because we became complacent with how life is, how the world order is. Like, if everybody else is doing it, I'm gonna do it too. Like, if everybody else is getting away with it, I'm gonna do it too. But like, God is gonna punish. Everybody has to answer to everything that they've ever done in this world, everything they ever thought in this world, every deed they have ever done, right? Thought, word, and deed. Everything they have ever said, they will have to answer to God, right? So I like the imagery of that. Just imagine God with His lantern going around. It's in the darkest corners, in the darkest alleys is another version of the Bible, right? So like, you think you're getting away with sin in all these alleys and all these darkest corners of this world, but God's going to shed His light. Like in the Bible, what is light? Whenever it talk about light, what is it talking about? What is light, right? It says that Jesus is light. Jesus is the light of the world. It says that God is the light, of heaven, right? It says that the Bible is the light, like in Psalms chapter 119, verse 1-5. The word of God is a lamp to my feet and a light unto my path. It says that we are the light of the world. Christians are the light of the world, right? So all these things are light. What is light? Light is the natural agent that stimulates sight and makes things visible. So it says in the Bible, like, what did it say? Everything hidden will be revealed. So everything that you think that you're getting away with will be revealed one day. Every sin that you've ever done will be revealed one day. So if you don't want something to be revealed, you don't need to be doing it. So see, this is how we need to be living as believers. Like, we need to be living as if everything that we are doing will be gaslighted one day by everybody. And that's how it's going to be, right? So we need to live with that kind of fear of God, like that kind of fear of judgment, of embarrassment, of shame, and being all disobedient to Him. And this is what Zephaniah is saying to the people in his day, man. Like, you guys need to Start living right. Start living better. Do better. Be better. Right? Why? Because God's going to illuminate and shed his brightness and shine and beam and gleam his brilliance, his luster, his glow on everything you've ever done. So, like, in the darkest corners, guys, like, what else is light? It's an expression in someone's eyes, indication or mood. Provide with light or lighting, illuminate. So make something start burning or ignite. So set a light, set light, burning. All right, yeah, I just had to do some synonyms. Starlight, lamplight, dazzle, glare. Like his brilliance. Like I really like that though. Like when it came to the symbol of light, brilliance, gleam, glamour, glow. Like, because when it came to two chapters in the Bible, Revelations 22, it said that the foundations of heaven will have the names of the apostles on them. You know, you got John, Andrew, Peter. So all the apostles' names, disciples, their names will be the foundations of heaven. And every foundation will be a stone, right? A different stone. And all these stones are true stones, perfect stones. And with these stones, they reflect when true light comes upon it. So what light is more truer than God's? There's no light that's truer than God's light. So when God's light comes upon these type of stones, what are the stones that's going to be in heaven? Here goes the stones right here. I got a photo of it. You got jasper, you got sapphire, you got chalcedony, emerald. So I think these are basically the same stones that are on the breastplate of the high priest in the tabernacle in the Old Testament when Moses and the Israelites made the tabernacle in the outer court, inner court, and they made the holies of holies, the holy place, and the Ark of the Covenant, all that stuff, right? So like the high priest, so that was Aaron. Anytime he went in there, he was the only one who could go in the holy of holies place. Not even Moses could go in there. And so Jesus is our great high priest. So like the high priest had a certain attire on, stuff they had to wear in order to be presentable to God, right? And one of the stuff they had was the representative 12 tribes of Israel. I told you guys, I didn't say it, but the 12 tribes of Israel in the book of Revelation 21, 22, like the all of the it says the gates, so the doors of heaven, there's 12 doors of heaven on all on well not on all four sides, but like it's four sides of the new heaven, new earth, right? It's a walled city, and there's like three doors on each, yeah, 3 times 4 equals 12. So it's 3 doors on each side, right? And every side of the doors had the tribe of Israel's names on it. So all of Jacob's sons, their names are on it. And the doors were pearls, made of pearls, right? So this is new heaven, new earth, the last 2 chapters of the Bible, right? So this is a screenshot, a synopsis, a trailer of what to expect with heaven, right? The gates were made of pearls. What is a pearl? Right? A pearl is an irritant, right? It's something that an oyster makes, right? So an oyster has something that irritates them. I think it's called I forgot what irritates them, but something sand, yeah, sand irritates them. So sand gets all over the oyster, and what the oyster does with the sand that irritates them is they use their nectar that they have inside of them to like keep on putting nectar and nectar on the sand to eventually make a pearl. You put enough nectar on the sand, it's gonna make a pearl, right? And so pearls were expensive in the olden day period. It's probably still expensive today, real pearls. But yeah, you take something that's an irritant and you turn it into something great, right? You take something that's irritating, that's awful to you, that vexes your spirit, and you turn it into something better. That's what God did with the 12 tribes of Israel. Like we all know that they weren't perfect. All of Israel's children, none of them are like really dedicated to God like that. You know what I'm saying? Like Judah sold Joseph into slavery, like, but their names are written. Actually, all of them sold Joseph into slavery, but most of them wanted to kill him. But Judah suggested that we sold him into slavery. So like they committed sins too. They weren't perfect, but yet their names are written on all 12 doors around heaven, the new heaven, new earth, right? The new city, and the gates are made of pearls. Why? Because we're a great irritant to God, right? So like this is how heaven is set up. Like I told you guys, I was trying to say the 12 foundations of heaven are all made of different stones, right? So the different stones, you know, it's amethyst, tabos, ginseng. I think these are basically the same stones that Aaron had to wear to represent each tribe. So each tribe of Israel had a stone as well. But now the 12 tribes of Israel are going to have a certain stone on the foundations of heaven, right? And it said that God's light will shine upon heaven. There'll be no darkness there. It'll always be daytime. It will never be night. And that symbolizes something else too. I'm talking about that in a minute. And so when it comes to light, when true light hits these stones, sardust and beryl. I'm trying to say what all these stones are. I can't say some of them. You guys can tell me what they are. But when God's true light hits these different stones, it's going to make a beautiful reflection. And the reflection is going to make a rainbow, right? So each stone makes a certain rainbow array, right? That flows throughout the city. So basically, when you see pictures of heaven just being all rainbows and stuff, that's why it's doing that, because when true light hits these different stones, it's going to make these type of different arrays and lights just flashing and going through heaven. So like you'll see like in the book of Revelations, like John, he kept on saying like, I'm trying my best to tell you guys what heaven looks like and what heaven's going to be like just from this vision, but there's no words on earth to really really articulate what I'm seeing, but I'm gonna try my best. And so this is one of the stuff he was trying to convey, like all of heaven, like it's true light. When God's true light hits these stones, that's the foundation of heaven, it's gonna just beam and glaze and glare throughout all of heaven, right? And so tell me that don't make you excited to go to heaven. Like just from what I said, the gates are made of pearls. Like God's speaking through creation. Like anytime you see something in creation, like just how ants function, just how the sun and moon operate around the universe and the solar system to the earth, and how the earth, operates to the solar system around the sun. Like it's all God is speaking through creation, telling us, how he works, and he's glorifying himself. Everything points back to him. Even when people are ugly to you, everything's pointing back to him. Like everything, nothing in this life is accidental. Nothing in this life is without purpose. So like one of my playlists on my YouTube channel, my favorite ones is God speaking through creation. And he's speaking through creation just with this scripture verse as well. Like, I was searched with lanterns in Jerusalem's darkest corner. So God's going to illuminate. He's going to gleam and glare. He's going to shed a ray of light. He's going to gaslight all the sins that are going around, not just in Jerusalem, but in the whole entire world. I got to look at what gaslight means, because it's a new saying that people use. Yeah, manipulate someone using psychological methods into questioning their own sanity or powers of reasoning. See, God don't have to manipulate. Like whatever you have done, like he's going to use questions to show, like, was that the best way of doing things? Like, why didn't you trust me? Like, that's literally how God talks to us. Anytime he's talking to me, spoken to me, that's how he speaks to me. Like, Sean, like, I did this for you, I did that for you. Like, why would you do that? Like, he already knows why I would do it, but he's just asking me so that I know why I did it. Just from him asking me, I figure out why I did it, right? So, like, that's how it works with God. So, but God's going to punish you if you just refuse to listen to what he's trying to say, refuse to listen to his questionings, refuse to reflect on, the light that he has eliminated in your life. Like God doesn't just, anytime something happens in your life, guys, you get a revelation about it, and you continue to still do what you received a revelation about, and I mean like in a negative way, like continually do that wrong, continue to go back to the vomit that, like dogs do, go back to the vomit that you spit out. Like, why you keep on doing that to yourself? Like, you're only hurting yourself. Like, there's a better way of doing things. And God's light, his word, the Bible, he can lead us to better paths and better hope and better ways of doing things. But a lot of times we don't follow the path. We want to do our own thing. And that's darkness. Like, what does darkness symbolize? The partial or total absence of light, right? In so much parts of this world, there's wickedness and evil. That's what darkness symbolizes. Darkness symbolizes, it could symbolize the devil, hell. It definitely symbolizes sin, immoralness, immorality, iniquity, wickedness, corruption, devilishness, like devilry, right? It also symbolizes gloom, dimness, dullness, murkness, shade, shadow. Like it says in the Bible, like basically that, there's no hidden shadow with God. It's black or white with him. It's right or wrong with him. It's good or bad with him, right? So like with us, it has to be the same way. Like there's so many gray areas in this life, so many people on the fence, right? And even in the book of Revelation chapter 3, like Jesus said, if you're on the fence, that means you're lukewarm. He said, I wish you were either hot or cold, but because you're not, I'm going to spit you out because you're lukewarm. You're in between. You're on the fence. To be on the fence is to be with the devil. To, be neutral is to be with the devil, right? So, like, you have to really stand your ground on what the word of God says, on what God says. And this is what Zephaniah is saying to the people. Like, you guys literally need to just take God at his word. Take God for what he said and literally just obey it. Stop questioning it. Stop fighting it. Stop, listening to what everybody else is doing. That's literally so much of the Bible, man. Like Psalms, let me just go to it. Like Psalms 1:1 is literally just proves the point of what I was saying. Like the blessed person, the people that they hang around aren't bad company. Like in the Bible says, evil company corrupts good habits. Like Psalms 1:1 says, blessed is the one who does not walk in the wicked or stand in the way of sinners or stand in the way that sinners take or sit in the company of mockers, but whose delight is in the law of the Lord, who meditates on his word day and night. Like, guys, sometimes it can seem like it's stupid to stick God's word. Not just that. Sometimes it can seem like there's no reward. It doesn't benefit you when you just do things God's way. And I don't even go even deeper. Like a lot of times, even me, like I have regrets for obeying God, like in college, just because like I could have played around with so many women. I could have had all the women in the world and just got that experience. You know what I'm saying? Like living with FOMO, like living in what if, living with that kind of regret. But like that's good to have. That's the life of a believer. You gotta learn how to deny certain things. You gotta learn how to say no to certain things. Like if you love God, you would obey him. You would do what he says. If you love me, keep my commandments. That's John 14:15. That's what Jesus said. So blessed, happy, what does blessed mean? That means a lot of stuff. It don't just mean one thing. It means that you receive the favor of God. It means that you get closer to God. Like that's your reward. You get to know God at a deeper and more intimate level because you were willing to do things that nobody else was willing to do. You were willing to go places with God that nobody else wanted to go with God. You were willing to make sacrifices that nobody else was willing to make for God, so that you obviously that would benefit your relationship with God, right? It's a relationship with God with everybody. Everybody has a relationship with God, but the question is, are you far from God? Do you know God? Or are you as close as possible to him? That's a heck to know for everybody. So where are you with God? That's what this life is all about in the next life, right? Your position with God. So blessed is the one who does not walk in the step with the wicked or stand in the way of sinners that sinners take or sit in the company of mockers. There's people who's mocking God. There's people who are sinners, and not just sinners, everybody's a sinner. But there's people who habitually sin and sin without even thinking, just to do it, and without even considering like the better way that God has for them, right? That's the step with the wicked, right? So like to cheat and to keep on cheating and to scheme and keep on scheming without thinking about the consequences of your sin, right? God is not mocked. God is not deceived. What a man does, what a man plants is what he's going to have to eat. What a man reaps is what he's going to have to sow. What a man sows is what his harvest will be. Your harvest is your life, right? So God, you can't fool God. Like, so this is why this verse means a lot to me, right? I went all over the place for this video. I should have more direction, but that's why it's a light verse. Like, I'm going to talk about this a lot, right? So Zephaniah chapter 1, verse 12. I titled today's video, God's going to take out the trash. Who's the trash, right? The dregs in this life. I just told you guys at the very beginning of this video, what is a drag? A drag are the solid pieces at the bottom of a drink that you don't drink, right? There's people in this world that you don't need to drink. There's people in this world you don't need to be around. Who are those people? The bad quality, the evildoers. Evil company corrupts good habits. What does righteous have to do with darkness? What does God's people got to do with ungodly people? Like, yes, no matter what in this world, you're going to be around them. No matter what in this world, you got to deal with them. No matter what in this world, that's just the world order right now. One day, God's going to take out the trash. It's just not today. Or maybe it is. I don't know. But right now, this second is not. So you got to deal with the dregs in life. You got to deal with awful people in this life. You got to deal with the wicked in this life. You got to deal. What is a drag again? So metaphorically speaking, a drag, I told you in this world, when it comes to drinking drinks, normally if you have a little bit of liquid left in any kind of drink, I would even say that. But mainly when it comes to wine, coffee, and tea, if you're drinking from tea leaves and not tea bags, you're going to be drinking dregs when it comes to the very bottom of a drink. It's the worst part of the drink. It's the part that you don't want to drink. Like you're like, oh, that don't taste like the rest of the drink. It's the least desirable portions in society. It's the least desirable members in society, the scum of society. You know those people. There's people like in this. There's people like that in this world. They're not desirable. They commit evil crimes. They're the worst members in society, the worst people to be around. I'm gonna ask everybody a question: who's the worst person you ever been around? Who's the worst person you ever had to deal with in your life? How many people was it? I know for me, it's 3 people. It just added to 3. She wasn't even that bad, so it's really 2, right? Like these people, like there's nothing I could have said. There's nothing I could have done to work with those people. Like it's like oil and water. It just doesn't mix. It's just not gonna flow together. It will always separate, even when you put them together. Like there's a certain parts in society, certain people you just don't mesh well with. You're not gonna get along with. Like y'all have nothing to do with each other just because. For me, it was because the person, no matter what I said, it was a lie. No matter what I said or what I did, they didn't believe me. No matter what I did, I was wrong. And like, guys, I know I'm not wrong. I know I wasn't lying. Like, but to them, in their reality, in their head, that's how it was. And no matter what, it would have still been at odds because no matter what I would have said, no matter what I would have did, they just don't want it. They refuse to believe me. They just think I'm a liar. They just think I'm the scum of the earth. They just think I'm awful. They just think I'm not saved, right? So that's ungodly people. Thank you. You said ungodly people. Like, so that's the ungodly people, right? So guys, like this verse says, this is a promise that Zephaniah, that God made a Zephaniah, and Zephaniah is telling it to people. And he's really giving the people hope, right? I will search with lanterns in Jerusalem, the darkest corners, to punish those who sit complacent in their sins. So guys, I told you guys, there's a lot of evil people in this world. There's a lot of people in this world that get on my nerves, and they probably get on your nerves too. There's people in this world that really will do anything to make people's lives miserable because that's what gets them off. That's what gets them going. That's what makes them happy. Like those type of people won't make it to heaven. You don't got to worry about it. Don't even stress your mind out about it. Stop thinking about it. Stop trying to retaliate and seeking revenge and stuff like that. That's God. God already got that covered. I just told you guys, like, what a man plants is what he's going to eat. That's Galatians chapter 6, verse 7 to 10. We've been talking about that on my YouTube channel, Uplift, Crossroads. Like, what a man plant is what he's going to eat. If a man sows from the flesh, they're going to reap corruption. That's Galatians chapter 6, verse 8 or something. Like, if you sow the flesh, you're going to reap corruption. What is corruption? It's ruin, being destroyed. Everything's twisted and manipulative. You're in so much darkness, all you do is stumble. There's no light. So obviously you get the opposite of what God promises. You're not going to be blessed. You're not going to receive God's favor. You're not going to have God's protection. You're not going to have God's refuge. You're not anything that God has to offer. You're not going to receive none of that. You get all the opposite when you do stuff contrary to God. So there's a price to pay. This verse, Zephaniah chapter 1, verse 12, I will search with lanterns in Jerusalem's darkest corners. No matter where it is in the world that you think people are getting away with stuff, and people are taking shortcuts, and they're not paying the price, God's going to pay the price. God's going to make sure they pay the price. God's going to be your payback. God's going to be your vengeance for all people of all time. There's so much evil going on in this world. We don't even know half of them. Guys, I'm still discovering some sins I didn't even know existed. Like, guys, I'll be honest with you. Like, when I was in high school, I really didn't know sex existed. I didn't understand how babies came into this world. I just thought you prayed and you got together and you had babies. I definitely didn't know what a period was when it came to women. There's so much stuff I didn't know. I was so sheltered, man. And long story short, I'm still learning things. I was so sheltered. I didn't know nothing. So there's so many ways to sin and just, live corruptly in this world. But, like, that's this world, man. Like, it's good to not know all those things. But God knows all of them. God knows everything. And he's going to shed his lantern, his light. He's going to illuminate every corner, every part of society, every part of this world. I just told you in heaven, there's no darkness. There's no nighttime. There's no evil people. There's no doom and gloom in heaven, in a new heaven, new earth. So whatever you think everybody's getting away with here, they will not get away with in heaven. Why? Because God will be in our midst. God will be present. That's the difference. I told you guys the saying, when the cat's away, the mouse come out and play, right? So when God's not around, the world order is Satan rules this world right now. If we're being honest, it wouldn't be so wicked. It wouldn't be so evil if that wasn't the case, right? But because Satan rules it right now, it feels like God's away. That's why it's like that. That's this world order, right? Because man chose that. But it's coming a day where God's going to reign again. The new heaven, new earth, the new Jerusalem. So if you believe in God, you believe in Jesus, this is your fate. There's going to come a time where God doesn't just reign, but the Lamb reigns with God. They're both the light and the lamp of heaven, the new heaven and new earth. And when that time comes, the mouse, the scum of the earth, the dregs of society will be eradicated, and they won't be allowed to enter into the kingdom because they will be thrown into the lake of fire, which is the second judgment. Billy Graham said this saying, and it's so powerful: born once, die twice. Born twice, die once. What does that mean? So to be born once means to be born into this world, and that's all you are, and then you die. That's the first death. The second death is born once, die twice, right? The second death is hell, right? How do you go to hell? Somebody asked me, like I said, somebody asked me, how do you get to heaven? What are your thoughts on who's going to hell? Right here. This question right here. It's going to be its own separate video. I'm pulling it right now. But who goes to hell? The people who go to hell are the ones who don't believe in Jesus, who do evil and think they don't have to pay the price for it. And I would even say, you know, Jesus said, many would say to me, Lord, Lord, did we not prophesy in your name? Did we not cast out demons in your name? Did we not sing songs of glory and preach for you and stuff like that? And Jesus going to say, depart from me, for I do not know you. So there's people who serve God, but they don't really love God. Their heart's not in it. They do it for, you know, the applause of men, to get a pat on the back. They do it for the wrong reasons. Their motives and their heart's not right. Those type of people who really don't do stuff for the love of God, for their relationship with God, they just do stuff to be seen, to be famous, to get money, to get over on people. Those people will have to pay the piper, right? They'll have to answer to God. And they're going to go into the lake of fire. So that's born once, die twice. That's what that's talking about. I'm talking about a lot of other people too, you know, rapists and stuff like that. I can keep talking about murderers. All right. Born twice, die once. So that means to be born in this world and then you're born again. To be born in this world, but then you're born again. That's John chapter 3, right? Nicodemus went to Jesus at night, guys, because he was a Pharisee. He was scared to be seen and stuff like that. It was symbolizing light and darkness again. God, Jesus, light and darkness. Nicodemus, man, the Pharisees, right? In the book of John, it's crazy, right? And so with that symbolism, Nicodemus went to Jesus and he said, you know, how do I become saved? You know, what do I need to do? You know, because he thought Jesus was an interesting cat, an interesting man. He was doing all these miracles stuff, and the Pharisees calling him false. Well, he was like, well, how can you do miracles and you're false? Like, don't make no sense. So he went to Jesus himself. He just didn't want to be seen going to Jesus. And he said to Jesus, you know, what does a man have to do to be saved and stuff like that? And Jesus said, what he knows, you know, the law, you know, if you love yourself and all that stuff. Love God with all your heart, mind, and soul. But then Jesus changed the script on him, like, because that was Nick's answer. But he said, you know, that's fine and dandy, but, you know, you got to be born again. You go back. Nicodemus was confused by that answer. Just go back in my mother's womb a second time to be born again? No, you got to be born spiritually. You got to be born from God, right? You got to become a new man in creation. And the old has to pass away, and the new has to come into fruition. What's the new? Your new spirit, your new demeanor, your new something that it's a work of God. It's not something you do yourself. It's a totally different person than the person you were before, right? Only people who are born again can understand what the meaning of being born again is. It's a 360, a completely different person than who you were before, right? And so, yeah, born twice, die once. To be born again means a lot of things. It means to forsake your way of doing things and to start living the way that God wants you to live, right? God, it means to please God more than you please man. You have that desire in your heart, right? So this is what it means to be born again, man. So like I said, God's going to take out the trash. Anybody who ain't born again, He's going to take you out. Anybody who are, let me read Revelation 22, man. Like, I'm not going to read all of it, but anybody who's the cursed, man. And when I say the cursed, I mean the people who just love to lie, love to steal, love to kill. They're the father of the devil. They have no peace in their heart. They just love drama, love toxicity, toxic relationships, man. Like those type of people, man, you have nothing to do with anything that God has to offer. And you never will, because your heart's not right. Your heart's too hardened, right? I can't wait for this prophecy to come into fruition. Like, I told you guys, it was Zephaniah chapter 1, verse 12. At that time, I will search Jerusalem with lamps. I will search with lanterns in Jerusalem, the darkest corners, to punish those who sit complacent in their sin. They think the Lord will do nothing to them. either good or bad. I'm here to tell you God will do something, right? I'm gonna read some. Royce, man, I love you, bro. Miss you, man. We got to talk again, man. Repeat that verse for me, sir. It's Zephaniah chapter 1, verse 12, right? That's why we are called to be lampstands. The more lampstands, the brighter the light. The more lampstands, the brighter the light. Yeah, the more lampstands. You guys hear that? The more lampstands, the brighter the light. That's actually why the Southern Kingdom, going back to the beginning of this video, that's why the Southern Kingdom didn't fall like the Northern Kingdom as quick as it did. Literally, the Northern Kingdom had no righteous king, barely any righteous people, right? But the Southern Kingdom had hope. They had a righteous leaders, kings. So like they were prolonging and what's the word I'm looking for? They were basically keeping away God's wrath, right? And that's what believers are doing. So like I always thought, like, I always been told, like, it's a debate: will believers be here during the end times, during the apocalypse and all that stuff? I forgot what they call it, the word I'm looking for, but you guys see what I'm saying. Like, just based on this verse and like this chapter in the Bible, how and just how God has always done things in society, in this world, I don't think believers are going to be here just because with Zephaniah, for example, the Southern Kingdom didn't fall to the Assyrians and Persians, basically the Persians, until there was no righteous people left for the most part. Same thing with Sodom and Gomorrah. Like, God's going to get rid of the righteous before he'll ever destroy and clean up and take out the trash completely, right? So, but anyway, that's a little side note. I want to read, but make sure you didn't say anything else. Hey, Soda Pop 123 123 123. Did you see that video I did for you? I answered one of your questions. Like, did you watch that video? It was a while ago, but they said if you murder and later accept Jesus, do they go to heaven or hell? Does evil people get reborn? Yes, yeah, they do. They can get reborn. There's hope for everybody. No one's too lost from for the grace of God. I'm taking a picture of your question, by the way. I want to make sure I do a video focus on that to give you a better answer, fuller answer. So, yeah, guys, but that's the video, man. I pray you guys enjoyed it. If you enjoyed it, man, you guys know what to do. My YouTube channel is Uplift past Crossroads. Got a whole lot of playlists on here. One of my playlists is Life Verses. So if you enjoyed me talking about Zephaniah 1:12, I'm going to do way more sermons, Bible studies, Sunday school lessons, animations on Zephaniah 1:12. This video was actually crap for me, but it's my first time really doing it. That's how it is sometimes with first-time videos, so that's okay. But it will be more perfected throughout time. And then also, if you enjoy me breaking down how God speaks through creation, want way more of that, check out this playlist on my YouTube channel, God Speaks Through Creation. Uplift past Crossroads again is my YouTube channel. Then also another playlist is, if you enjoyed me breaking down Revelations 21, 22, I got those playlists on my YouTube channel. And then Zephaniah, that's I think it's gonna be one of my favorite chapters in the Bible, if not my favorite. Like, I really like it a lot. I just like talking about stuff in the Bible I don't hear a lot of sermons on and you're preached on a lot. So anything with the minor prophets, Zephaniah, they're called minor for a reason because they don't get as much coverage, right? So Zephaniah is definitely a good book. So like I said, I'm gonna hit you guys with Bible studies on that real soon. I wasn't in seminary school. I'll be doing that right now, but I just got so much work to do for seminary school. And then also, here goes my other social media platforms as well. Uplift past Crossroads. I'm on every podcast platform you can think of, so not just on YouTube. So wherever you get your podcast from, check me out on there. Specifically Spotify. That would really help me out. All right. So Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Chromecast, Anchor, wherever you get your podcast from. So I go live on Fridays for the most part at 3 p.m. And I go live twice, so I really don't finish till 7 p.m. So I kind of went live later today. So but yeah, I try to go live. It's my goal to go live every day, 2 days, two times a day or 1 time a day at least. But just depends on how much I got going on. I just got a lot of stuff going on. Like, I went live on Tuesday this week, I think. So yeah, I'll go live whenever I can. So yeah, just subscribe to my YouTube channel, Uplift past Crossroads. Click the bell when you subscribe to my YouTube channel, and that means, like, after you subscribe, you'll see like a bell that you can click. It looks like a bell. Just click on that and then say to be notified anytime I upload a video. So anytime I go live, you'll see me, or anytime I upload a video, you'll see anytime I'm live or upload a video. You'll never miss anything. So that'll be on my YouTube channel if you don't want to miss anytime I go live, right? And so, yeah, here go my social media pages, guys. I'm not gonna say it. Let me cut this video short so I can go live with my wife. I'm about to go live again right now with my wife. We're gonna talk about modesty. So you're interested in us talking about modesty and our thoughts on that? Man, just check it out, man. You see my my drip, man. I got drip, man. Because people like Royce, like I ran track with him, he had drip. So, all right, guys, talk to you guys later. Peace out.